Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mandy at Laughing Gravel, and we are going to be having our black today. So let's go ahead and get started.
The devil upright. This is the consequences of our own actions and the choices we make. The worst choices are made, the bigger the consequences are. When we make self-centered choices and give into our bad temptations, we can do irrebuttable damage not only to ourselves but to others as well. Queen of Swords upright. We have to be impartial and use logic in this situation. To be strategic, to whittle things down to what is really happening in our relationship or situation. Seven of Cups upright. We have a decision to make and we have to look at our options closely and weigh our expectations for each of those options before moving on with the situation. The Hierophant upright. This card talks about taking all the information, acknowledge of the situation, going beyond our intuition and emotions and use intellect and experience to solve the problem.
The devil is about taking responsibility for our own actions and the choices that we make. And those consequences, can be huge. The worse choice that you make, the bigger the consequences are. When we make, the choices that we make and really give in to, those temptations and addictions that we can have, it might not just affect you. It's very possible that it can also, hurt someone else as well. Now, the Queen of Swords. This is about using our logic. We kind of have to muddle through and start chopping out, things that are lies or, things like that, and kind of really get down to the meat of what's really going on. Now, the Seven of Cups. That, we have these decisions to make, but, we really have to look at, what these options are and, making the pros and cons and certain expectations of these options before we make that decision to go forward with it. Now, the Hierophant. This is about using everything, at our disposal to look at this problem. Now, this also is, taking our intuition and emotions, kind of putting them on the back burner and using your intellect and your experience that you have to really solve the problem. So we are going to be having our tile jumper tomorrow. So come on back and see me. Do the like and shares, and I will see you guys then.